morning. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Thursday. Happy almost Friday. You guys, I was listening to a podcast this morning and I was getting so fired up and I was screaming at the people in the podcast and they weren't hearing me, obviously. So I thought I would come here and have the discussion with you guys. Hopefully you'll benefit. Maybe you guys can relate. Maybe this will be helpful for some of you. So I want to share my thoughts on it with you this morning. But before we get started, I also want to apologize for the giant mess that my sweet, sweet, sweet husband, who I love so much, who's back from deployment. Hell freaking yes, he's home, he's here. I'm so freaking grateful. 3 deployments down, a million more to go before he retires. But his stuff, now we share an office. So his office is also like his, where all of his army shit is kept. So I apologize for the little mess in the background. I tried to push it to the side as best I could. But good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I hope everyone is feeling fantastic this morning. Please let me know in the comments, how are you this morning? I think so often we ask and we get asked, how are we doing and how are we feeling? And we say, I'm good, I'm busy. And I want you to dig deeper for me, like hands on belly, take a couple deep breaths. And just ask yourself, like check in with your body, do a little bit of body checks here. How are you feeling today? And give me a feeling in the comments. So good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Cindy, haha, you yell at stuff too. I was literally like, no, this is what she means. Like I was getting so fired up because the podcast host was getting really upset and it was really obvious. She was getting very overwhelmed. And she was taking everything out of context. And the woman that was being interviewed, Patti Stanger, was like Stanger, I don't remember how you say it, Stanger, I think, who's Millionaire Matchmaker. Do you guys know her? Which apparently she's also a psychic now, which is really fascinating. And she was like doing some work with them and it was really powerful. But she was like trying to explain her point of view. And the podcast host was like, well, that's not, I would slap my daughter if she did that. I would like get mad at her. Like that is not okay. And they were like arguing, trying to get each other to see each other's point of view. And I want to share with you what I was taking from it because it's something that I teach, but I think it's a common misconception in the relationship world, in the dating world, in the marriage world, in sex, in any kind of partnership, even in like a business partnership. This is a common misconception. Cindy says, it sounds like we're so similar. We are. Sure. If you yell, and if that's not a mess, oh my gosh, you are so funny. Yeah, Patti Stanger. Oh my God, I love this. So good morning, everyone. Good morning, Alyssa and Jessica, Cindy, Drew, Ashlyn, Kiona, Nicole, Luna. Good morning. Good morning. Thanks for spending some time with me this morning. So what I want to talk about today was this concept. So what was happening in the podcast, right? And it was the Wind Down podcast with Jana Kramer, who I love. Love her podcast, love what she's about. I watched her on One Tree Hill. I listened to her music. Like she's an incredible human. So this is not like me bashing her by any means. Like this is just me. I was like a third wheel, fly on the wall in a conversation. And I want to share my side of it, my point of view from it, my interpretation of it, and what I teach about it, because I think that it's just a conversation that needs to be had. So Jana Kramer had Patti Stanger on the podcast, and it was really interesting, and they were talking about some really interesting stuff too, because Jana was actually cheated on by her husband, and they talked a lot about trust and infidelity. And Jana actually cheated before her husband. She cheated on every man she was with. And they talked about kind of the background of that. And Patti asked her why she was doing that. And they were putting some pieces together. So if that's something that interests you, if you're into this kind of topic and work, and that's something I've had so many people message me that say that they have struggled with infidelity, they've been cheated on, asking me for resources. I think it was a really powerful podcast if you want to listen to it. Good morning, Stephanie, my girl. And if you guys are not following Stephanie, she does so much of this powerful work as well, so you need to be following her. Good morning, Sadie. Good morning, Stephanie, Becky, and Stephanie. So many Stephanies here. There's 3 of you here right now. This is powerful. This is cool. So what was happening was Jana had Patti on the show, and Jana was talking about her friend who was there with her, who is in the dating process right now. Now, personally, I don't necessarily specialize in dating because I haven't dated for 11 years now. Stephanie is an incredible relationship coach. She does a lot of work around dating as well. So I personally focus on women who are already in relationships, already in partnerships. She does that work too, but that's like my specialty. If you're in a partnership, a long-term partnership, marriage, long-term relationship, like that's kind of my zhuzh of helping you kind of reignite the fire and passion there. So what was interesting was Patti came in and Jana had her friend over, and they were talking and having this juicy conversation about, you know, how do I get my friend to date? Like, how does she get the guy? Like, she's just this really big powerhouse, and she's tall, and she's intense, and she's direct, and she's very like in your face a little bit, but in a beautiful way. Because look at Patti. If you guys know Patti Stanger on Millionaire Matchmaker, she's a very like intense, abrupt, like masculine alpha woman who is just like says it how it is. She says what she wants. She's very like upfront about it. She doesn't apologize for that. And I am very much the same way. I'm very alpha, very masculine. If we go back to the masculine feminine energies, I can be very direct. I actually used to get in trouble for it in jobs before. Like, I would get in trouble for the things that would come out of my mouth because they were too abrasive. And it's just like it's a quality that a lot of female entrepreneurs, in fact, have, that we can be very alpha. We stand our ground. We don't take anybody's shit. We're like, hey-o, like, that's not okay. You know, we go up to the guy. We have the in-depth, depth conversations, right? We're not afraid to speak our mind, right? And so she was talking about this, and Jana was like, well, what does my friend do? Like, give her some dating advice, basically. And Patti said, I want you to soften when you're dating, like when you're going out and trying to get the guy, right? I want you to soften. And it was really interesting because Jana was like, oh, hell no. No. Don't change who you are. Be the strong, independent woman. Be powerful. Be direct. Be like intense, right? And she was having this really interesting back and forth conversation. And Patti said, I didn't say don't be yourself. I want you to be yourself, but soften. Relax a little bit, drop in, and she didn't use this verbiage, but drop into your feminine a little bit. You can still be strong and independent, and you can own the room with your power, right? It's like power comes from within. It's an energy about us. You can be like standing your ground without tearing a man down, right? Because what was happening was during this conversation back and forth, Jana's husband was like, well, yeah, I agree with Patti. And Jana was like, but wait, no, if our daughter softened or changed herself in order to get a man, I want her to be the strong, independent, powerful woman that she is. And Patti said, so do I. Patti said, look at me. I'm strong. I'm powerful. I'm independent. I got my shit together. But in order to have this partnership and have this like beautiful harmony with this man, I had to learn which energy is coming forward right now. Because what happens is what's happening in this day and age, and especially with like the millennial generation, which, hi, I'm a millennial, yes, proud to be one. But what's happening is that we're so strong and we're so independent. We're like, we don't need a man to have a baby. We don't need a man to take out the trash. We don't need a man to pay for the bills. We don't need a man for this. We don't need a man for this. I got this. Okay, cool. Awesome. I'm so freaking into it, right? So freaking into it. Because I am as well. When Joe's gone, I freaking got this shit. Chill, people. Like, I got it. I'm not worried about it. I don't need a man to take care of me. Now, I need a man to change my tire. Personally, I don't know how to change a tire, and I don't want to. And I used to have friends that would get mad at me, like, why would you like not just learn how to change a tire? And I'm like, because I can pay someone to do it. I have zero desire to learn how to change a tire. I don't have to prove my independence and prove certain things. I just am powerful. I'm independent. I'm sovereign. I'm in my sovereignty here. I'm in my wholeness here. I don't have to prove that to anybody. It's an energy. I can walk into a room. I can command the presence from within. I don't have to prove anything by like, I can do it all on my own. Because what happens is if a man doesn't feel needed or wanted or valued or have a role to play in the relationship, in the partnership, he doesn't know what to do. He's like, okay. And then most of the time he's going to go, or you guys are going to have a lot of dissonance and a lot of resistance because you've got two alphas trying to rule the show. So what was so interesting was Jana's husband was like, yeah, I agree with Patti. Like, I need to feel needed, and I want to know what part I'm playing, and I want to be able to take care of you, and I want to be able to hold you and support you and be there for you. And Jana was like, well, yeah, but why can't I be my strong, powerful, like independent woman, and you can still support me? And he was like, you can. And I love that in you, and I respect that in you. But it's also falling back a little bit and allowing the man to play a part. For example, in the military relationships, right? The men leave a lot of the time, women as well, right? But for this example, I have a man that leaves more often than he's home. And he leaves, and I've all of a sudden got to run the show. I got to do it all. I got to make sure the babies are fed. My animal babies. I don't have human babies. I got to make sure my babies are fed. The car's getting its shit done on it. It's getting its maintenance done. I've got to make sure that the bills are paid. I've got to make sure that, if I have a kink in my neck like I do today and I can't turn my head to the left, I've got to make sure I'm going to get a massage because no one can take care of it for me. Like, I am so independent. But what happens is when Joe comes home, I have to fall back a little bit. Yes, I can still be strong, and he watches me be strong. He watches me be independent. He watches me have my shit together, but he's got to have a place to go. He's got to have a role to play. He needs to feel needed and wanted and valued and appreciated just as much as I do as the woman. And this happens in same-sex relationships as well. So what I see a lot of times is in military relationships too, because the guy's gone so much, the guy comes home, the wife is just like, I got this all. I don't really need you. And then there's like this weird like dissonance and resistance and this weird energy happening where it's like, I don't know what part I play here. Like, does she even need me? And so Stephanie is saying it perfectly. Men need meaning to thrive. They do. They need a purpose. What purpose do they play here? What role do they play here? So Patti was saying, like, be strong, be independent, be an alpha. Like, girl, in business and work, like, I'm alpha all day long. She's like, I'm getting shit done. And in my relationship, even sometimes I'm going to play dominant, right? I'm going to play that part. I'm going to be the alpha. But a lot of the times, especially when you're just first getting into a relationship and the man doesn't know you yet, you got to fall back. You have to fall back, and you have to drop into that feminine softness where you're still powerful, girl. You still commanding the space of the room. I am seeing you. I am hearing you. I am holding space for you. I am loving this energy and this potency and this power that you have. But if you're intimidating him because you're not giving him a space to be needed, then what? Right? And so it's not changing who you are. We all have the masculine and the feminine within us. We all have the hard and the soft within us. It's just being aware, and it's noticing in a room that you're in, what energy are you playing with? What energy can you bring forth here to have a little bit more polarity instead of two alphas going bat to bat, trying to find sexual chemistry, trying to find that energetic, deeper connection? And so that's what Patti was saying. She told the girls, she was like, listen, she was like, just go out there and be a little bit softer at first. She's like, you can still be that hard, masculine energy, right? You can still have that. You can still be the boss. You can still, be the alpha in your work and in certain parts of the relationship or whatever it is. Like, you can still be powerful and strong and independent, but the man needs to feel like he can be the alpha there sometimes, right? He needs to feel needed and wanted and have a place. He needs purpose. He needs meaning within the relationship. And if you're constantly trying to outshine him and overdo, then he doesn't know what his role is there and he can't find his place. So yeah, Stephanie, you have to listen to this podcast episode. It was so interesting. So I just was saying, like, I was yelling at the podcast because Jana was so upset. Jana was like, oh, hell no. And Patti left and Jana still said, oh, hell no. Could you feel like that I was frustrated with her? And her husband was like, I think the whole studio could feel that you were frustrated with her. And he was trying to explain his part in it. And it's really interesting because you can even notice in certain conversations in relationships, and I have no idea what's going on behind the scenes, right? I'm just an innocent bystander, third party kind of outside. But you can even notice yourself, because I had to notice myself when I do this, because I can be alpha. I can be very masculine. I can be very dominating. I can be very intense energy. I'm the extrovert of the relationship. Joe's very introverted. I had to notice when I was cutting him down. Because I notice this a lot when I listen to couples on podcasts or on TV or wherever. And again, like, no idea the context as far as what's going on and like if that's like a thing that they do and it's like a cute banter. I mean, I'm not here to like judge by any means, but I had to notice within myself, where am I cutting him down and being so dominating and so alpha that it's almost like shutting him down and cutting him off and mocking or talking down to him in certain situations. And I had to be very aware of that in my own life, because I am very direct and I can be very abrasive and I can say things like just without thinking, sometimes very unfiltered, off the cuff. Like obviously here I am 14 minutes into this live, like I had no idea like what exactly I was going to say, but be aware of it. Be aware, notice. Do I need to fall back for a minute? Do I need to be softer here? Does he need that soft place to come home to, right? Men, when they get home from work, they want to be able to come home and like fall into that softness for a minute, right? They need to feel also supported and also held sometimes. And if you're in the masculine, you aren't going to feel safe to him. So it's like dropping into that and just being aware of what energy am I playing with here? What am I noticing? What is needed here for me to see him, to hear him, to want him, to value him, to appreciate him, to give him meaning? Like, how can I play a part in supporting that for him? And I promise he will mirror that back to you. But the only thing we can change, right, is ourselves. We can't change like the man and telling him, you just need to love my strong, independent self. You just need to love me. And he's like, I'm trying and I do love you, but like, this is really hard. Like, I don't know what part I play. So that's what I wanted to share about it, because poor Jana could not seem to fully grasp it. She was so stuck in her, like, no, strong independence. And I want you to be strong. I want you to be able to be independent. Codependency, it's a whole nother bear, a whole nother live video, a whole nother training. It's not healthy, but I want you to also be able to have that softness and be able to drop into it so that you can hold him and you can give him that meaning and he can feel needed and he can feel like, literally, it's the smallest things. When Joe comes home from deployment, could I open the jar of salsa by myself? I'm going to ask that again. Could I open the jar of salsa by myself? Yes. Yes, I could. I will find a way. But when he's home, it's a small little thing I can do, and I'm like struggling with it, and instead of continuing to struggle with it, I literally say, hey, babe, can you open this also for me? And then he's helping me, giving him meaning in the smallest, teeniest, tiniest of ways. In that moment, I'm giving him somewhere. If I know that for example, again, I don't know how to change a tire. I don't worry about car stuff. Usually I'll just take it into the shop, but I ask him like, hey, babe, what's going on with this thing in the car? Can you help? Could I Google it? Yes. Could I figure it out? Yes, but it's not about that. I don't have to prove my independence to him. I don't have to prove my power to him. He can sense it. He knows it. He sees it. Your man is seeing the way you show up in your business. He's seeing the way you show up on social media. He's seeing you when you're in that power and in that presence, but he also wants to see the softness side of you. It needs to come through. So just being aware, it's just noticing these patterns. Angie says, I think men are more sensitive than they come off. My husband, oh my God, 1,000%. But men were taught that was wrong, right? A lot of men were taught that they had to turn the feelings off and they had to turn the sensitivity off, but they crave that just as much as we do, right? My husband loves physical touch and wants a loving, soft woman. And sometimes I'm so bossy, so I need to tone it down sometimes. Oh, girl, me too. 1,000%. 1,000%. And it's just that, like, you can have the both. You can be both. And when I tell women, like, I want you to drop into that softness, I want you to have, really perfect that sensuality and that feminine energy, right? It's not about foregoing the masculine and foregoing your power and just being submissive and being like, help, take me, rescue me. That's disempowering. No, I don't want you to do that. But I want you to be able to dance with him and have that harmony of what needs to come through here. What is it that is needed here for him to have meaning and to have purpose? And for you to be able to dance in the relationship versus control the relationship and bog him down. So be strong, be powerful, be independent, have your shit together, be the boss, freaking man, I'm here for it. But also realize in the relationship, where is the softness needed? Where is he craving a soft place to come home to drop into? Where is he wanting this feminineness to come through with you? It's so interesting when you see both sides, and it's both in a relationship and it's in the bedroom. There are plenty of times where my boss comes through in the bedroom and he digs it. He's into it. Strong, powerful, independent woman. I'm calling the shots right now. But I also fall back into the feminine and I let him be the man. Because here's the thing. So often we're saying, I just want him to be a man. I just want him to be a man. Why can't he just be the man? Why can't he take control? Why can't he do the damn thing? Because you're not letting him. And I say that with all the love in my heart because that was me. You're not giving him the space to. That's when we have to fall back for a second and give him the opportunity to be the man. Instead of trying to be two alphas, it's an alpha and a beta. And it's just depending on in the situation and what's going on, who's got to be who. And it's this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful harmony versus trying to be two alphas butting heads. You with me on that? So yeah, listen to the podcast. It was Wine Down, WHINE, with Jana Kramer, who again, I love, not judging her by any means. I just was like, just understand where Patti's coming from and listen to your husband speak. Please listen to your husband speak. She was not listening to her husband speak. And nothing drives me crazy more than when he is trying to speak and she cuts him down. And I see this all over the place and I have been totally guilty of it. But just let him get his words out. I don't care if he's not talking fast enough. My husband does not talk fast and he is very methodical in his words. And I got to listen to every single one and not cut him down and try to answer for him or try to just like wrap up the story, right? So, and it's going to be interesting because we're going to be live tomorrow or Saturday in my private Facebook group, Millennial Business Babes Unfiltered. He's going to answer from a masculine point of view, some really juicy energy, relationship, sex questions. I was reading them to him and he was like, oh my God, seriously? He's like, I have no idea what I'm going to say. I'm like, oh dear sweet baby Jesus, take the wheel. This should be interesting, but we're also starting our podcast soon, so that's coming too. But it's Wine Down with Jana Kramer with Patti Stanger. Pillow Talk with Patti Stanger. And let me know what your guys' thoughts are. Come back to this thread or send me a message. Let me know what your thoughts are. I'm super curious. I'm super curious too for Stephanie to listen to it with her expertise. And I want to hear if she's screaming at Jana too of just like, listen to what they're saying. Stop twisting it. Because be powerful. Yes. Have that masculine energy. Yes. Be the boss. Yes. These are very beautiful, beautiful qualities to you. Gorgeous strengths. They are needed. But also just be aware of when that softness and that feminine needs to come through. And that's why I'm so passionate about becoming sovereign, because I teach you that. I walk you through the exact steps of this work, of this process. And you can take what you want. You can leave the rest. You can try it on for yourself. You can see what happens, right? So many women are messaging me saying, my marriage is falling apart. I'm not having sex. I'm not happy. And I don't know what to do. And that's why I created this program, because I know not everyone is ready for deep, private, one-on-one coaching in this realm yet. They want to dip their toes in and they want to see breakthrough. They want to see some transformation happen. And they want to start to address and give intention, focus to this area of their life in 2019. I believe everyone can have the badass bank account, the badass business, all of the success that they want, but you can abso-freaking-lutely have the badass sex life, the badass relationship, the incredible, epic connection, intimacy, passion with your partner as well. You get to have both. And in fact, I think they both play into each other. And if we're just focusing on one and not the other, that's where I think there's some disconnect. So that's why I'm passionate about this work. If you want to be a part of Becoming Sovereign, let me know. We start a week from Monday. I just added another payment plan to it for weekly payments. So it's super, 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 super doable for most people. If you have questions, let me know. Thank you for hanging out with me and listening to me riff on this, because yelling at the phone while my dog was watching me listen to the episode was not working. So I'm with Patti on this one. I know Stephanie is too. I know you guys are too. I love you. I am rooting for you. Happy freaking Thursday. And I will see you guys for another live either tomorrow or Saturday over in the Facebook group. Have the most incredible day. Bye, guys.